This is Talkative Carl, back with another discussion video. Something just kind of sprang in mind earlier this week. I wanted to talk about uh, the characters in Dragon Ball Z that isn't involving Goku. I think that at least most of the supporting cast of Dragon Ball Z, as the entire series or the canon wise, certain characters deserve better, because especially someone like Krillin and Yamcha. Now, it's something they first started. Well, it started in a couple of ways. One being, if you ever watched the Dragon Ball Z Abridged, it's a hilarious show on YouTube. Check it out; it's hilarious. You'll laugh your butt off. And of course, people who are fans of Dragon Ball Z, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I'm discussing this. But it's also when Dragon Ball Super came around, and after the multiversal tournament thing ended, from since like the Golden Frieza up until that point of the arc of the multiversal arc, it's just that I don't know who decided over in Japan to just treat Goku like he's like he has to be the winner of of everything. Of course he has to win and all because he's like the main character, but aside from like tournaments or certain big bads, it ain't just him. More often than not, Goku actually needs help. He can't handle this all by himself. And the reason I'm saying this because, like, when I play Dragon Ball FighterZ, usually Yamcha is on my freaking team because I think probably one of the best characters like I usually have as my mains. He's so versatile. But from the point when Dragon Ball, the first series came out, Krillin and Yamcha and Tien, Chaozu, they weren't nobody to mess with. From my recollection, there was like, they can go toe to toe with almost any other villain that them and Goku encountered during that series. When Dragon Ball Z came around and Goku grew up, they just felt like they're at this point like cannon fodder more so than actual legit fighters. Now I understand, like, of course you don't expect, like during the Frieza saga, you don't expect someone like Krillin or Yamcha to hold their own against Frieza. Of course not. But when we got to the point of like not even just the multiversal tournament and Super, but even up to the point of the Golden Frieza arc, I expected that. I mean, like, I know that Krillin's at least the strongest human on planet Earth out of all the Z fighters, but the amount of training they had, even if they took a break from training but went back at it, chronologically wise, because like Goku and Vegeta ain't the only ones training. They probably did some fair share of training too. They had their own arcs. They needed shown. I mean, I'm pretty sure they grown from the point from whence they were introduced up until the point currently in the canon now. I surmise, at the very least, or at least at the most, I should say, at the most, they should be, like Tien, Krillin, Yamcha should be able to at least hold it on between, like, depending on the scenario, maybe like Super Saiyan 2, for like but like maybe like Super Saiyan 3, they can hold it on for at least 5 minutes maybe before being taken down. But I'm bringing that up because that will show some growth. Like we poke fun at Yamcha, but he's a fighter too. And it's like, it was playing as a joke, but then Super like lean into the obvious joke, and it's like treated like not even just Yamcha, but a lot of them, like, not just the ones I mentioned, they treated them like just jobber type of cannon fodder kind of fighters. It's like they are not treated well, in my opinion. Hell, I mean, by this point, Krillin should be able to like knock Android 17 around a bit, but it's just like everybody treated him as a joke because that's how he was in early stages of Dragon Ball Z. And since the point when Frieza killed him, that's all people seem like they thought of Krillin as. It's just like, just some of the backhand out the way, because it's like a little gnat to anybody else. But it's like when Golden Frieza, or at least Frieza, came back, even before she turned to Golden Frieza, I would think the writers would take that moment to give not even just Krillin, like Vegeta, all those people who was in the Frieza saga who were killed by either Frieza or one of the Ginyu forces. And it's like, I wanted that to be like a great moment, just to show like Krillin stepping up to, can you imagine Krillin walking up to Frieza, even before like they knew about Frieza's like advanced form, walking up to Frieza and like just bodies him to show like, I'm not the same dude that you exploded on Planet Namek. Like, just straight up like decks him, and it's like, that was for killing me. And when Vegeta looks like he's about to win, and then like, of course, like Frieza threw a Hail Mary and tried to explode the entire planet, and then we rewound time so Goku can step in and stop it before that happens. But they could have written that in a way where Vegeta gets his moment. It's like Vegeta's should be as strong as Goku, maybe a couple of notches below his strength, but still very close. It's like apples and oranges how strong they are of fighters out of the entirety of the Z fighters, or at least in general, beyond like someone like Beerus. But it's just like they just like completely sideline a lot of these characters just to allow Goku just to win everything. When you're looking at something like DC Comics, you don't see Batman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman expect Superman to swoop in and handle their own business every time something comes around. Even the entire Justice League don't expect Superman to solve everything. There's times when Batman solves an issue, or Wonder Woman comes in to solve the issue to help win the day. Like, because that's how, like, even with Marvel, the Avengers can't expect Iron Man or Captain America to solve everything or win the day by themselves, just because they're pretty much like the leaders. It is something that was newly in my mind. It's kind of like, I find it very irksome that that a lot of the Z fighters are not getting that just due. Tien is like an incredible fighter. People like respect the hell out of Tien, but like Yamcha, they sideline him, or they just treat him like like he ain't crap, just because like we're so glued to watching Vegeta and Goku earn a new form, because every time like a new series comes around, there's a brand new form they learn, and it's just how Dragon Ball Z works nowadays. There's never any cap to it. But if they are advancing, you have to respect these other fighters that are here too. You know, this ain't just the Saiyans. They got help too. You gotta show, you know, Krillin, Tien, Yamcha, even Android 17, 18. Show them like going up a level, showing them progressing. You know, at the very least, showing them learning like a brand new move that's only special to them, and then blitzing a fairly powerful bad guy. Maybe it doesn't always have to be the main bad guy, but it's just that at this current stage, like someone like Krillin and Tien should be able to like in the super arc or saga or whatever. But at this stage, they should be able to hold it on against Perfect Cell. If if the writers allow them to show them being, training extra hard, and I mean they show a little bit, but it feels like they're not really like the main. It kind of feels like wasn't that important, so we'll show them here and training with the main people like Goku and Vegeta, but yeah, they're not the focus. They're gonna be out in like after 2 or 3 rounds. Who cares? And just like let Goku do his thing, because everybody loves Goku, and that's the most important thing. We got at least show he has his little thing. It's like we've seen it several times. Dragon Ball Z, when he's finding Frieza, Cell, and Kid Buu, and then in Super, well, I forgot who's the main bad guy in GG, but even then it's like that's Gogeta technically, but still. And then it's just like Vegeta and like to a slightly lesser extent, but like Goku for the most part is handling the main bad guys, and it's like sure, majority of the time it has to be probably him, but like that second go around when like these people like when Frieza came back, it would have been amazing, or at least shown some growth, that we see Krillin holding his own against base form Frieza that the last time that they saw him before Planet Namek blew up. It's like I'm not the same person that you met before. It's like while you're in hell, I was honing my skills. And it's like Krillin's not a joke. I mean, every once in a while we poke fun of him, but he's a serious fighter and he should be treated as such. Yamcha too. It's like you can have your comic relief, but don't let them make them feel less than just because they're not a Saiyan. Even when Gohan grew up and he like took a hiatus from fighting to concentrate on his life that's outside of fighting, and he got back into training for the multiversal tournament thing, him and Trunks, they should be in their Super Saiyan 3 modes at this point. Yeah, because I think at the highest level, as I remember, they still was going. Hey, Daniel, I'm just talking about Dragon Ball Z characters. I'm just like figured by Dragon Ball Super, Krillin, Tien, Yamcha. By that point, they should be on par, or at least have the skills and progression and growth to be able to like, if like let's say in Super, somebody bring back Perfect Cell and he trying to get his revenge against the Gohan and the other Z fighters, and like someone like Yamcha come across and co-cocks him, or like when Frieza came back, it would have been like amazing to see Krillin getting his revenge and just straight up like instant transmission a punch right into Frieza's face and crowns him. I mean, before he turns golden. I mean, it's like that would have meant so much to a lot of Dragon Ball Z fans, and yet they're all sidelined or used as cannon fodder. I just find that bonkers. I mean, it's like, what is that? What's wrong? What's going on with the writers there? I mean, if anybody knows, or at least follows Dragon Ball Z like extra hard, and they might know why they treat, you know, all these other supporting characters of Dragon Ball Z with such disdain almost, you know, because by this point of Super, they should be showing some progression. I mean, sure, in the multiverse arc, they fight, you know, other fighters, but for the most part, they're like, you know, almost like grunts in a way. Oh, not grunts, but it's like, you know, right hand man to the main bad guy, but even still, like, they're struggling. It's like, by this point, Krillin, Tien, they should be as knowledgeable as fighters as Android 17. I mean, it's like, you know, if this is supposed to be like, you know, progressing after Dragon Ball Z, and I'm pretty sure they skipping over GT, but they should bring back Super Saiyan 4. They're neglecting Super Saiyan 4. But if this is supposed to be like a natural progression, reflect that. I want to see Krillin bodying somebody that people would assume would, you know, knock Krillin's head off. You know, just like give Krillin his own little arc, you know, give these other, like, give like Yamcha his own little arc. Just put all these Saiyans to the side for an arc, so that way other characters have their moment to shine. Just like they should have let Vegeta have his moment to shine when he got his chance to kill off Frieza on his own, that he never did before when they last fought him. It's just, I mean, what you think, Daniel? Since you're here, do you think like they, you know, the writers of Dragon Ball is treating like the supporting characters very poorly? Like there should be like redemptions, or at least, you know, for a lot of these characters to have their own little moment to take down like a big bad guy. That's what I think, because it's just ridiculous. Like, why are you still continuing that same tired? It's a tired joke at this point, is what I'm thinking. Because we had all a lot of fun during, you know, when Dragon Ball Z was airing new, you know, back in the day with each new episode, and, you know, because now in Super they're pretty much self-aware of the comedy, and it's not as fun to poke fun at it. It's like they treating Goku like, everybody knew like Goku pretty much acting like a bad father. Now they kind of lean into it and showed him like ignoring everything, just, and then putting like the entire multiverse in danger just to fight a stronger opponent. It's like y'all lean extra hard into Goku being dumb and irresponsible instead of acknowledging that frailty and showing him being a better individual and not so battle obsessed. Because there's a lot of things wrong with Super that, you know, like, I'm not a huge Dragon Ball Z fan, but I am a fan to an extent to know that what they're doing in Super is not piss poor. There were some cool moments. I think Goku Black is an awesome Dragon Ball Z villain, but it's just that for the larger picture, they kind of dropped the ball with Super, with the, you know, the self-awareness of it. Instead of just improving, they leaned too hard into what was wrong. Because we don't want to see Goku ignoring his, well, he's not ignoring his kids, but it's like you're putting your kids in danger, you know, just to, you know, see them fight bigger opponents just because you would prefer that if you was in their shoes, or, you know, putting the entire multiverse in danger just so you can fight someone stronger like Jiren or Beerus. It's just that if I would have written like a comic arc for Dragon Ball, or at least Dragon Ball Super at this point, first of all, I write Goku like a smarter individual, and like actually want to take the time out. I know it's probably gonna be like weird to see like a weird, yeah, I was trying to think of like a smarter word, but it'd be weird to see like out of the blue that Goku is like, want to spend time with his family instead of going training. It's like, nah, I want to take a day. I want like I want to take my boys fishing, see like how's like family life going for Gohan, how school for Goten, that kind of thing. Just a bonding with the family, going on a camp trip with the entire family kind of situation. That'll be like a nice thing, change of pace. And like if there's like, and while Goku's like pretty much taking a vacation with his family or something like that, like he's off, and the rest of the fighters are like doing stuff on Earth, like Tien Alpha in the monastery dealing with like troublesome bandits, trying to raid the monastery kind of thing. And like him and Chaozu go out, deal with the bandits and the leader, and they're fairly strong opponents. And like somebody at the monastery is like, we need to call Goku. And like Tien was like, Goku's not here, but I am. That kind of thing. Just like show Tien in his all his glory, just like reminded us why we love him and why he's such a badass. And Chaozu, not just a little miniature dude cradling on Tien's leg all the time. This is he's a fighter too. He's not there just to self-destruct. And then like another arc with just Krillin, and give Krillin his badass moment, because last I remember he was a police officer. And it's like I remember at some point, I think it was in GT, yeah, it was GT, when it was dealing with like a shootout, and Krillin came in and just murked a lot of those burglars, because he's the strongest human on that planet, and it should be reflected more often. It's like, just show him like in an arc where he's dealing with like mobsters or something, and one of the monsters like actually has like a henchman who is like a strong fighter himself, and Gohan deals with that on his own without needing to call Goku or anybody else. He's a fighter, and he's not a chief, but like a high-ranking officer that knows how to deal with criminals. He fight alien criminals all the time. He can deal with a human criminal. And like Yamcha should definitely have an arc. Show his progression as a fighter. I know he's touts himself as like a ladies' man, but I don't even know what he does for a living. Maybe he's like a model photographer or something like that, and somebody's harassing all the girls that he takes pictures for, and like he steps in and like does his thing dealing with like freaks like that. That'll be amazing. I think people will love reading or watching arcs like that, where these fighters get their moment to shine, while Goku's away. He's not able to be called. He's like he's like off the grid. He's with his family. Nobody's had to bother him, and that way we keep Goku out of it for at least a few arcs to have these other fighters have that moment. So I mean, and this is kind of like not like subplots, but it's like their own little personal arcs away from any kind of major catastrophe that might threaten the universe or multiverse or the world, that kind of thing. This is just like a personal thing. It's kind of like the way like Netflix season 1 of Daredevil, where it's just Daredevil dealing with his own thing in Hell's Kitchen with the Kingpin, and like Jessica Jones dealing with her own thing with Purple Man, and Luke Cage dealing with his own thing with like Cottonmouth. It's like their own little pocket of the world with only maybe like an episode or two interwoven. Either like one episode or none. just to acknowledge that they're there. But it just, this is their thing to do. It's like if there's a, dealing with one of those monsters, Krillin might be stumped on a case, trying to nail one of these monsters, a pin, like a crime on them, so they can have the authority to arrest them, and like he's like struggling. Then I don't know, like Tien or Piccolo comes in as like love, no, reminds him like, you gotta take a moment to like take your mind off it for a few minutes, and then the answer might come to you because you're like overthinking it a bit, maybe that kind of thing. I think Piccolo, Piccolo could easily have his own arc too, because even though he likes to jump in to make sure he provides significant backup, which I greatly appreciate them still like allowing Piccolo to step in to help at the very least without silencing him. But he gets down very easily as soon as the major dude comes in. But give his own arc too. He definitely deserves his own arc, so that way he come out as the winner instead of just being the guy you rely on to take down like the right hand man kind of person. I mean, hell, Piccolo went not toe to toe, but he didn't hesitate to jump in when they first met brawling. He stepped in, even though he knew he was gonna get his butt rocked, but he still, stepped up like a man or Namekian, and like still, stood his ground. He definitely lost, but that's an arc where he can definitely like beat like a bad guy on his own that he personally has to deal with. And maybe like have an episode where Yamcha comes in, is like provide some levity, so that way he don't take things too seriously, and just like if he's like getting angry and like lashing out and it's like forgetting himself, and Yamcha, it'd be cool like Yamcha the one stepping in to remind Piccolo to like take it easy, don't like take things like too seriously now. You let your anger take control, you lose yourself, kind of thing. That'll be a great thing. And Yamcha can provide a bit of wisdom. He's not an idiot. That's what for the longest time they treated Yamcha like he's an idiot, and he is not. I mean, he's the comic relief most of the time, but it's like Deadpool in a way. Deadpool is definitely not an idiot despite the way he acts. He has a fair bit of strategy about him to way he does it. It's like the method to the madness kind of scenario. So like Yamcha, definitely not an idiot. He can definitely solve problems and he can figure things out. He's not the quickest guy, but he still like is not an idiot, and he should be portrayed as such. I mean, but that's just my quick thoughts on that subject. I'm just something that's been noodling in my mind. It's like that's wild to me by this point in Super, at least the multiversal arc wrapped up in late 2019. But whenever they bring the show back again and do a whole new arc, I think it's like, I know they're not gonna listen to me or anybody else when they through all the complaints about Super. Japanese writers of this manga, they feel like they know best. Who am I to question it? But it's just that you gotta treat these supporters, because Full Metal Alchemist, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX is like, or at least the Gundam series. Those are like the top examples I can think of off the top of my head right now, where they show fantastic supporting characters, and none of them are idiots, even though a few of them like are like jokesters and stuff like that. They are just as capable as the main guy you're following, main guy or girl that you're following. And just that, can you imagine if they since like what's his name, Mustang, the guy who snapped his fingers in Full Metal Alchemist, that lights things on fire by snapping his fingers. Can you imagine if they treated him like they treated Yamcha? How irritated you'll be. That's what I mean. Of course, I'm not saying Yamcha should be like him, but he should be as capable, just to show people that he is a badass in his own right. But yeah, I mean, that's just my quick thoughts on that particular topic. It's something that's been like something I wanted to like express, and I feel this platform is the best way for me to express certain things that I want to get out of my head and just voice. But if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about like the Dragon Ball Z supporting characters. You think they definitely deserve better, or you think they fine just the way they are, or like, yeah, just what are your thoughts? And don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff to Talkative Carl on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Follow me on my Patreon. That's www.patreon.com/talkativecarl. If you have an idea for certain reviews that you want me to check out and do a video on, check that out there, and I will definitely put on the list and get that out to you as quickly as I can. I'm not doing like a comic book review this week, but definitely next week, because I'm doing like a Moon Knight review, like a 5-issue Moon Knight review. A story that I particularly like, that hopefully you guys will like. So yeah, take care, and I'll see you guys soon.